If you feel emotionally exhausted, take this moment with me. I come to you quietly, not pretending, not hiding, not trying to sound better than I am. I come as I truly am, with thoughts that trouble me, with images that should not have stayed, with ideas that did not bring light. You already know them, every one of them, even the ones I tried to ignore, even the ones I tried to justify. Still, I speak them before you, because my heart needs truth, and my soul needs cleansing. There have been thoughts in me, not spoken aloud, but alive inside, growing in silence. Thoughts that judged too quickly, thoughts that assumed the worst, thoughts that fed anger, resentment, envy, pride. Thoughts that were not kind, not patient, not loving, even when I knew better. There were moments when I replayed old wounds, adding new words, new endings, new bitterness. I confess this, without excuses, without defending myself. There were thoughts of comparison, where I measured myself against others, and either felt superior or felt small and bitter. I let those thoughts stay, instead of releasing them to you. There were thoughts of impatience, where I wanted answers now, change now, relief now, and I grew frustrated when waiting was required. I confess the irritation I carried, the silent complaints, the inner sighs of disappointment. There were thoughts that replayed fears, imagined disasters, created outcomes that never came, but still stole my peace. I fed those fears, instead of feeding trust. There were moments when my thoughts drifted toward darkness, toward judgment, toward coldness, toward shutting down emotionally. I confess the times I chose distance instead of compassion, silence instead of understanding, withdrawal instead of love. There were thoughts that objectified, thoughts that reduced people to ideas, to roles, to desires, instead of seeing souls. I did not always guard my mind, and I allowed what was unhealthy to linger longer than it should have. I confess the curiosity that crossed boundaries, the imagination that wandered without restraint, the indulgence that dulled my sensitivity. There were thoughts that whispered, "This doesn't matter. Everyone thinks like this. You're allowed this one." But I know those whispers were not truth. I confess the times I entertained revenge, even quietly, even subtly, imagining fairness but harm. I confess the times I rehearsed arguments in my mind, winning conversations that never happened, holding on to offense as if it protected me. It did not protect me. It hardened me. There were thoughts of self-criticism, harsh inner words, judgments I would never say to someone else, yet repeated to myself without mercy. I confess the cruelty I directed inward, the standards without grace, the pressure without rest. There were thoughts of escape, of running away from responsibility, from calling, from what requires courage and patience. I confess the temptation to choose numbness over growth, distraction over healing. I confess the moments when my thoughts were louder than your voice, when noise replaced stillness, when I listened more to my emotions than to your truth. I bring all of this to you, not in shame, but in honesty, because I believe you are not repelled by confession. You are drawn to it. You already see my mind, every corridor, every locked door, every hidden room, and still, you invite me closer. Cleanse my thoughts, not by force, but by truth. Wash what has been heavy, what has been distorted, what has been unhealthy. Teach me to notice my thoughts before they root themselves,
before they shape my heart, before they direct my actions. Help me pause, breathe, and bring even my first reaction to you. Replace what was dark with what is true. Replace what was anxious with what is peaceful. Replace what was judgmental with what is merciful. Replace what was impure with what is whole. I do not ask to be perfect. I ask to be aligned. I ask for a mind that leans toward light, even when temptation whispers. Train my inner world, gently, patiently, day by day. When old patterns return, remind me I am not defined by them. When I fail again, remind me that confession is not the end, but the doorway back to peace. Teach me to surrender thoughts quickly, before they grow roots, before they steal rest. Let your truth become familiar, so familiar that false thoughts feel out of place. I want my inner life to match the life you are forming in me. I want integrity, not only in actions, but in intentions, in imagination, in silence. Heal what fuels these thoughts, the old wounds, the unmet needs, the unspoken grief. I give you permission to touch what I avoided, to name what I ignored, to heal what I buried. I trust you with my mind, even when it feels fragile, even when it feels tired, even when it feels confused. Thank you for listening, without interruption, without condemnation, without rejection. I receive your forgiveness, not as a concept, but as a cleansing reality. I choose to walk forward lighter, not pretending the struggle is gone, but knowing I am not alone in it. Guide my thoughts tonight, as I rest, as I breathe, as I release control. And if my thoughts wander again, bring me back, without harshness, without fear. I trust you with what I could not fix myself. I trust you with the hidden places of my mind. I trust you with the becoming, not just the confession. Amen.